Listen, I've heard so much about alkaline water lately. My husband swears by it. I'm wondering if it's legit. I'm not a believer quite yet, but by the end of this segment, I might be. Will it really make a difference when it comes to my health? Welcome, Dr. Vernell Lucas.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on your show.
Well, I'm excited to have you. We're excited because alkaline water. See, I see it as just like a trend. Everyone's talking about alkaline water now, but I'm interested to hear your take on the benefits of alkaline water and if it's really legit.
Yes. Well, I'm going to say that I thought it was a trend myself.
You did?
I absolutely.
Okay.
Essentially, what I'm talking about is something called hydroxyl. Hydroxyl is what they call OH negative, not to get too in detailed, but if water is H2O, hydroxyl is OH negative. So it acts as what they call an antioxidant. Okay. So I started drinking the water. The machine is actually a machine that makes it. And it started in 1974 in Japan, and it started with type 2 diabetes. And that's what really got my attention to it, because I was like, wow, this is different. And then when I started doing the research and I started drinking the water myself, that's when I started to see how this was. So the major difference maybe is that it's not bottled water. So a lot of times people go, oh, this is bottled water. I go, no, there's actually a charge inside the water. So if you think of maybe life or anything that is alive or any food or anything like that, it has a charge or electricity associated with it. And that is actually measurable. So if I said, what's the difference between maybe regular fruit and canned fruit?
Well, the canned fruit, is that real fruit?
It's real,
but
okay. It's definitely real,
Don't you ever wonder if that's even real? See, I'm just a skeptic all over the place. Water, fruit, is anything real? But yes, I know what you're saying, though. I understand your point.
The difference is the life aspect of it. Like, if you cut an avocado, it turns brown. So how do you harness the energy out of that? So essentially what this company has done is they've taken regular tap water and charged it and put a charge inside of it, and that charge lives inside the water for about 72 hours. So when you drink the water, it actually charges the cells in your body. And that's what fascinated me. It can't be found inside of bottled water because, if you know, bottled water has a shelf life. Which means,
the purified water, so alkaline water and purified water, the difference is that charge.
I think that I think everything inside of bottled water is going to be what they call dead water.
Okay.
So essentially, if you put a goldfish inside of bottled water, is going to die because there's no oxygen inside of it. So if you take a bottle and you close it, anything inside of there is going to be no oxygen. So there's no life.
So what do we put the fish in?
Well, we put fish in tap water.
Okay, so we put the fish in tap
water is different.
All right, so forget the fish. Let's get back to alkaline water.
Okay.
When you drink the alkaline water with the charge and it charges the cells, what do those cells, why do we want our cells charged?
All right, remember when in high school they had something called mitochondria? And the mitochondria was
stirring up something in there.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Okay.
This is the things that makes the cell move, the energy.
Yeah.
And that's you use electricity in order for that to work. In other words, every time your heart beats, you're putting an electric charge inside your blood. That electric charge essentially charges everything inside your body until your heart beats again.
Okay.
So the process and the rhythm of that essentially keeps you alive. So when you start looking at the foods that you eat and the things that you drink, you could be eating death.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I love interviewing doctors because they give it to you straight. You're not afraid to say it. Okay, I believe we have a question from our audience. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Lauren, and like Kristin, my husband is obsessed with alkaline water, and I thought that he was just being bougie, but I do have a question. Is it true that cancer cells cannot live in an alkaline environment?
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a study done, not a study, gentleman by the name of Dr. Otto Warburg. He received the Nobel Prize in 1947 for discovering that essentially cancer can only live in an oxygen poor environment. So that makes you say, like, if you hold your breath, obviously you're going to die.
Yeah.
So essentially, the things that you eat and the things that you drink are suffocating your blood, which is making your blood thicker than what it should. And then that starts to back up, and this causes dis-ease, which means now your body is not in ease. You're in a state where things are not functioning properly.
Wow, great question. So interesting.
Thank you.
Now, is this something that's important enough to make a lifestyle change? Because I'm so dramatic by nature, and so now I'm thinking, great, now I'm just going to drink alkaline water.
Yeah.
Is there? Can we do it in excess, or is that better for our bodies?
See, maybe what I'm talking about and what you're talking about are different.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
That doesn't shock me. You're a chiropractor. I have no medical background. I know that's a shock to you. But okay, so when it comes to balance and how often we should drink alkaline water, what do you think about that?
Well, see, again, I'm not talking about alkaline water. What I'm talking about is hydroxyl. So what I'm talking about is very specific. It's called Kangen Water. And maybe what you're talking about is what you're finding in the grocery store.
Exactly.
And completely two different things. I look at water now, there's tap water, and there's bottled water, and there's Kangen water. That's how I look at it. Because the chemistry is different when you, not the chemistry, but the electric charge separates things. So essentially, if I was, like when I was a kid, I would rub my foot on the floor and then shock a girl in the back of the ear.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you liked her. Yeah. Yeah.
So essentially, that's transferring electricity to somebody. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So our bodies are electricity, and when we lose that electricity, we lose our ability to function. So what this water does, the hydroxyl, is as you drink this water, it charges your cells. The same way as you drink alcohol or you drink maybe a soda, is going to do the opposite. It's going to slow down your circulation. And essentially, circulation is life.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, yeah.
That makes sense. We have another question. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Sami. Thank you so much for what you're saying. I actually had the opportunity to use one of those machines that you're talking about. A chiropractor friend that I had let me borrow his machine that he got. The issue was it was about $4,000 to $5,000 worth of a machine, and it's like an actual machine you hook up to your tap. How would that in the future, do you see that becoming more affordable and prevalent for the everyday person or the everyday family to have a $5,000 machine in their home, which is great and is bringing life, but that's why it's so expensive as well.
Right.
You know.
Great question.
Great question. You know, my first practice was in Paramount. And I don't know if you know where Paramount is, but it's not Beverly Hills. So my first issue wasn't the price of the machine. It was first, how do I affect my community? How do I, you know, in other words, if you have neck pain, I could adjust that away. If you have back pain, I could fix that. But when you start talking about hypertension, diabetes, gout, arthritis, these are habits that people have, which means you're going to drink a lot of soda, maybe eat a lot of fatty foods, maybe you go to too many fast food restaurants, and that slows down your circulation. So initially, my challenge was not to see if it if everybody could afford it. It was more so, does it work? And I think water is probably the cheapest thing that you can use. And when I look at it that way, it's a product that you're probably going to use the rest of your life, and that ends up being affordable when you look at it. Because when you start looking at maybe the other bottled waters or alkaline waters that people may purchase, it's going to cost you a lot more in time. So my logic became, if I had something that was somewhat affordable and worked, most importantly, the value of that outraises or really puts you in a different position.